new Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum. We are going to check this out today. We're going to compare it to the other two in the line that I've got, Wanted by Night and the Most Wanted, specifically because this is a flanker to the Most Wanted. I'm going to go through the notes with you, go through what I think of it, how it compares, and if you should buy it. So stay right there and enjoy the video. Starting off with the opening then, in the normal Most Wanted, this is a very thick, heavy opening. This opens up with a spicy cardamom note, and you've got this lovely, thick, kind of wintry amberwood. So this is, for me, this is a perfect winter fragrance. It's very thick, it's very sweet, and it's really heavy, really comforting fragrance. But the new Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum, this opens up completely different actually. This opens up with a lovely, effervescent, energetic ginger. So this opens up completely different. You have got a kind of ambery, woody note as well, but it's not quite as thick and not quite as sort of comforting almost as the Most Wanted. As I said, it's very effervescent and it really gives you kind of energy when you spray this on. Ginger is one of my favourite notes, especially in the opening of fragrances. I think it works really well and really kind of gives you a boost of energy. So when you first spray this, you're going to be hit with the lovely ginger, and you haven't got that cardamom note that is in this. So there's definitely a big difference in the opening, and this one for me is geared more towards kind of the warmer months. Maybe it's just a complete an all-round fragrance. You can wear this anywhere, but definitely it's not as kind of cold weather based like the Most Wanted. As we move further on to the dry down, in the original, the Most Wanted, you've got that thick amberwood that carries through the life of the fragrance, and you've also got this really lovely sweet caramel note, and that just makes this perfect for the winter. This is a really good winter fragrance. It's got some similarities to the Stronger With You line, as I think I've said before in another video, but this, the Most Wanted Parfum, does go in a slightly different direction. You've also got the woody notes. As I said, it's not quite as ambery. You haven't got the spices like you've got the cardamom in the Most Wanted, and in the base notes you've got this lovely bourbon or bourbon vanilla rather than a caramel note. Caramel is going to be more gourmand, it's going to be heavier, so whereas vanilla is still going to be sweet, it's not quite as gourmand, and it's more of a lighter, sweeter smell rather than like a heavier dessert smell. I think when you smell these two side by side, you can definitely tell that they're from the same fragrance house. There's definitely some similarities in there. It's almost like they've taken the original, the Most Wanted, that was actually released in the winter, I believe. It's still a very new fragrance, and they wanted to release something specifically for the spring and the warmer months that we've got. And I think that's where this comes in, and they've done a really good job in changing the formulation to make this more of a summer fragrance. As I said a minute ago, I think this is not just a summer and spring fragrance. This is going to be a really good universal all-round fragrance, one you can wear in the cold, in the hot. It's going to work really well anywhere because of those mix of notes, because it's not overly fresh, it's not overly sweet. It's a really well balanced fragrance with some freshness from the ginger, some energy, you've got some nice woody notes, and you've got the sweet vanilla as well. So judging by what I've tried of this so far, this is going to be perfect for the winter, cold weather specifically for this. This is going to be more of your all-round fragrance, one that you could wear pretty much anywhere to any occasion. I remember when I first tried the original The Most Wanted a few months ago when I bought this for my collection, and I was immediately hit by how similar it was to the Most Wanted, not the Most Wanted line, sorry, the Armani Stronger With You line. Very similar. It's got the kind of the warming, ambery smell, the sweetness, the sort of chestnut nutty smell, very similar to the Stronger With You line, but this is not quite as similar. As I said, they still are comparable, but this goes in its own direction, and this is a more of a unique take, I would say. So when you smell these side by side, you can still tell they're from the same fragrance house. There are some similarities, but this one has slightly more uniqueness to it. If you were to own these both, I'm going to recommend you wear this one in the spring and autumn, and probably when you go on a date night, this works really well. And when you come into the warmer months and you want something for the spring in the daytime, and then you want something for a summer evening, if you go into a party at night outside, then go for this. This is the Azzaro The Most Wanted Parfum. the new flanker from Azzaro. I think this is going to work really well in the warmer months that we've got coming up, and I'm certainly going to be wearing this summer, especially at night time. I think when you go into an outdoor pub, you go into a music event, barbecue, anything like that, this is going to work really well. I've not had a chance to test the performance yet because I only got it in yesterday, but all of the fragrances from this line, the Wanted by Night, the Most Wanted, they all perform really well. So I'm expecting the new one to not be any different. I think this is going to still be a good performer, but as I say, I've not had a chance to really test it in the field yet. But as I say, the other two, Wanted by Night specifically, is a very good performer, and the Most Wanted also performs really well. I think these fragrances are all very good value for money. You can pick these up from discounters for really cheap. I mean, this is Wanted by Night. This is a 150ml bottle. I paid no more than £50 for that, so it's a very good value for money. This was also around £50 for 100ml, but as I say, it's a very strong, really wintry, cozy fragrance. This is a very good bargain, and this, I can't remember what I paid, I think around £60, but it's the new flanker Parfum concentration, so it's going to be more expensive to start with. But you can get all of these three fragrances for very good price if you shop around. They are good compliment getters, they're good for wearing in most occasions, and they're good performers as well, so really good value for money. If I had to pick a favourite between these three, I would probably go for the original, the older, the Wanted by Night. It doesn't smell, hasn't got much to do with the Most Wanted, and I think that the Most Wanted Parfum is more like the Most Wanted, which is kind of obvious, but this one is more interesting. This has a cumin note in the top, it's got cinnamon, it's really spicy, it's got a lovely tobacco note, but this I would say is going to be more, not challenging, but it's going to be more, slightly more diversive, and I think you would, if you're looking for a more generic fragrance, these two would suit better because they're more modern, they maybe similar to the Stronger With You line, so they're more recognisable and they are more modern. This one is slightly more divisive, it's a bit more challenging to wear, but this is more interesting, and I think it's the best value for money, and it lasts the longest. So I would choose the Wanted by Night as my favourite from these three, but I'm looking forward to wearing the new Most Wanted Parfum in these summer nights that we've got coming up, especially for that lovely ginger note. Well, that concludes this video. Please let me know down in the comments, have you tried the Most Wanted Parfum? Which one is your favourite from this line? And are you going to buy the new flanker? Guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in a few days with another video. Take care.